time now, it's not about talent, it's about heart. It's about who can go out there and play the hardest. Now, they've been here before us. They're not going to give it to us. We got to go out there and we got to take it. Right? Take it! Take it! Take it! Let's go out there and take it.
Here we go. This is me, my moment of shame.
Doing the Wi-Fi check.
But no, I'm just gonna play the video of me.
All right, Vikings, rip my heart out. Just do it already. Rip my heart out. I know you're going to.
Vikings with a classic loss. Welcome to the Sports Savage. I'm Garrett Savage. Call or text show 470-391-4034. I have an announcement to make, Sammy. We now have a Instagram page. You can look us up directly on IG. You're going to get more clips, more behind-the-scenes stuff. The Sports Savage Show. It's on Instagram. And, of course, I'm joined by the best in business who has no social media. It once was the hub of the NBA plateau, and now we're going to have to find a new word for it. But it's Smooth Talking Sammy from Orlando, Florida. Sammy, what up?
Yo, Savage Life, Sports World, what up? And unfortunately, it's no longer the NBA hub, but now it'll be forever known as the place where Dwight won a championship. So thanks for reminding me about that.
Good for Dwight. That's all I have
to say. If you say so.
That's all I have to say about that.
If you say so.
We're going to start with college football over the weekend. We'll start with my Noles. I didn't leave a voicemail just because, you know what, the game, even though we lost, really wasn't that bad. I mean, we put up some points. We didn't get completely punked around. The score still wasn't great. But you can tell some things are starting to churn for State. Notre Dame still looks like a really good team. So, you know, if you're going to lose in the Garrett Bowl, I guess it was better than a blowout.
Yeah, the Garrett Bowl was entertaining. If you're Florida State, you definitely showed some type of backbone in a primetime slot against a common foe like Notre Dame. So that's something to look forward to in what people would call a lost season. But if you're Notre Dame, I don't know if you let your foot up off the gas or you put some young guys in, or maybe you're just feeling yourself a little bit. But that was what you call a statement moment that you had against a down Florida State team. And the fact that it was even competitive at any moment kind of proves the point that I was saying about your other team in Notre Dame, that I don't know, big time, I don't really trust them. But, I mean, they got the win. It was convincing, but I don't know how convincing it was, especially when you look at what Florida State really is.
Yeah, I mean, I said this before, and I'll say it again. Like, our defensive line, or our defense was supposed to be, you know, the catalyst, and really, they look terrible. Like, if you were to say our offensive line, which is patchwork at best, was going to outplay our defensive line, you know, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have taken that bet, you know, 10 times out of 10. So, Florida State, you know, we're pulling it together recruiting-wise. Another stinker out there was Florida. I knew they were sham the whole season. Jimbo finally gets his big-time win at Texas A&M. They beat the Gators 41-38. That was a good game. I was never a Kellen Mond fan. I always thought he was garbage, but he came out there and he played and put Florida in their place.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of Florida State fans and maybe just a lot of Floridians that were kind of waiting on that Florida Gator moment. And who knew it would come against Jimbo, like you said. I'm not a Kellen Mond fan. I don't mind saying that out loud. I think he's just literally a system quarterback. It's kind of how college works. But with that being said, that's still the biggest win that Jimbo has to date in College Station. So let's see if they take that as some momentum and make some noise. I highly doubt it, but it definitely throws the East up in the air people were looking to Florida as kind of the one on that side to represent them in the SEC championship game and maybe even moving forward. But that definitely looks a little premature now. But if you're going to lose, you want to do it early. So
Right.
if you're a Gators fan, you can keep that in mind.
And Georgia, the other team, Georgia's number 3. I mean, SEC is just, filthy with how many teams they have in the top 25. Tennessee lost. I don't know. Tennessee was looking like they might be coming back. They're not. Speaking of another team that should have been coming back is not. Texas, Oklahoma. 3-4 overtimes. Insane game. Defense doesn't matter. And, I think that's it for the Texas head coach. I think he's done after this. He came in there. He was doing all those piss tests. He was telling everybody, if you're not pissing clear, you're not a team player. Well, dude, you're pissing your opportunity, wink, down the toilet because Texas was supposed to be really good like 2 years ago.
Yeah, Texas is like that job that's supposed to be so great until you get it and you realize that nobody really wants to come to Texas when they have so many options. Where's Charlie Strong? I feel like he was the reason. Charlie Strong's been gone forever now, and they're still losing big games, and they have no defense. So I won't hold the lack of defense against them too much because they do play in a conference where it's almost forbidden. But Herman was supposed to be the answer. He was supposed to be able to bring Texas back and get that recruiting done. And if you're in college, that's the number one thing. So he's not resonating. So the only thing they really can do to switch it up is bring another guy in. But the classic cliche would be if you fire him, then who are you going to hire? So my thing is just be wary of what you ask for. They definitely deserve this. Charlie Strong got shafted. And it has something to do with him being black. But at the same time, you bring a different coach in, and there's not a different result. So I think that's more of an outlook of the school of Texas itself, even more so than Herman. But he's going to have to bite the bullet on this because they are ass.
Bite the bullet. Good Red River rivalry. I remember the first time I remember like a big time was Adrian Peterson was a freshman, and he ran for like 228 yards and was just like, unstoppable. That's when the Big 12 was good. Big 12's trash. Pac-10, Pac-12's trash. It's going down. USC pulled out. They're not even going to play college football this season.
Yeah, we don't miss the Pac-12 at all. If we really think about it, like that's an underspoken storyline. Nobody really misses the Pac-12. You can give me kind of how do you feel on that coast? Maybe is it not enough football? Are they really fiending for that Arizona matchup? But yeah, over on the third coast, not really. It's not really happening. But let me ask you this: is Lincoln Riley off the hot seat now because they beat a garbage Texas team? Because Oklahoma's not good this year either, and I thought. Maybe not firing, but maybe he was kind of getting hot like I need to get out of Norman. But maybe things calm down now because you beat an overrated Texas team.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rivalry game. That would just be like if Ryan Day lost every game but still beat Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. Like, they'd probably still hire him, just because that game means more. I don't know. Red River Rivalry hasn't really been like a national game that's going to decide who's going to go on to play the national championship game. So Lincoln Riley should have went to the NFL. I think he knows, because college football, who knows what's going to happen with it. We saw what COVID could do. We don't know what the implications are going to be, with other conferences maybe dropping out. Is the money guaranteed? NFL, the money's guaranteed. So I think you might see a lot of college football coaches jump to the NFL after the season. Not only that, because so many jobs are going to be open. I mean, both New York jobs are probably going to be open. The Vikings job should be open. Falcons just fired their head coach. Texans just fired their head coach. There's going to be a lot of jobs, and I will guarantee you Brian Kelly or guy we just mentioned from Oklahoma.
Lincoln.
I say at least 2 or 3 are going to make the move.
Yeah, I think that's a smart bet that Lincoln Riley could coach in the NFL next year. That's a good point in all those open slots. I didn't realize that. And we're only 4 or 5 weeks in, and there's so many vacancies.
Sometimes I make good points. Bad point I made. Sammy, last night, you know what I could have done?
What is that?
You know what I could have done? I could have sit here with a beer. I could have watched the Lake Show. Win their 17th championship, LeBron winning his 4th title, third with his third different team, J.R. Smith shirtless, the game was done. Like, the game was like one of those games you can just put your feet up, you can just cruise and drink, and, if you're in a party, you can just get hammered because, the game's over with. I didn't watch that, and we're going to get into what I watched later on. But, everyone's saying, is he better than MJ? I don't want to talk about that. Now they're saying we got to respell GOAT to GOTE, best of the era, which I think makes a lot of sense. Where's LeBron rank on your list? What'd you think of the win? And if you're the Heat, you can't be that discouraged. You'll be back.
Yeah, just to kind of make things quick on the Heat side, there's nothing to be discouraged about. You were literally playing with house money once you got Jimmy Butler. What you learned is that you have a team. You have a nucleus of players who want to be together and want to grow together, and you have a star, a budding superstar, if he could shoot a three confidently, on your team who wants to be there. So at this point, Miami, you being South Beach, you're already an attraction. So I only see the Miami Heat getting better, as much as it pains me to say that. So just be proud that you made a finals appearance so recently after, being so sorry after the Heatles left. On the Lakers side, I mean, the Wash King, that's pretty much all you can say. The Wash King is champion. I feel like that's a statement within itself. People were saying it wasn't going to happen. I can't say that I saw it happening this soon or even at all. Based on his age, he's the oldest player to be the best player on a championship team. That's a statement within itself. And LeBron James is one of the greatest of all time. The whole Jordan and LeBron back and forth, I do like getting into it because it's interesting from both sides. Being a Magic fan, neither one of them had a Magic jersey, so I generally don't give a shit. But LeBron, he's making a statement, and the only true statement, other than the fact that Jordan has more championships, is LeBron's story is not finished yet. AD, it's weird that you had to have an old-ass man come and save you from your first NBA Finals, but you were the reason they didn't sweep him. Anthony Davis is the reason the Heat didn't get swept, or let alone it was 6 games. So just be proud that you were able to get up out of New Orleans and into a situation with the Wash King. Shout out to Rajon Rondo. I think his role in the whole run is kind of going to be forgotten about because he was literally a role player. But I don't think they get it done without him being able to take LeBron off ball. Dwight did his thing for a couple of series, so whatever. I try not to hate on people, but that's cool. But yeah, if you're the Lakers, this is exactly what you plan for.
Whoa. You're handing out all these superlatives, and you're forgetting somebody, and I think I know why you're forgetting about him, because he looks like me. Caruso!
Wow.
Where's his love? You're like, oh, Rondo, this. Caruso! He was the Dellavedovich, basically, for this team when LeBron was at Cleveland. Dellavedova,
yeah.
What's his name?
You literally hit the nail on the head. That's kind of why he doesn't get any credit, because you were literally the same player. I think that's more credit to LeBron James that he can make Caruso look like Dellavedova or vice versa. I don't know who's better. One-on-one, who's really favored? Who do the odds really go against? You don't know, because they both really don't matter. But with a Wash King around you, or a king within itself, he can make you look like a champion, or he can make you a champion, with that being said. But yeah, shout out to Caruso. Shout out to everybody for getting it done. All the people who want to put an asterisk on it, that's weird, because maybe your team didn't win. But if you put an asterisk on it, hopefully you didn't watch it, because why would you watch asterisk basketball? But yeah, shout out to the NBA for getting it done. I don't really think they did really much about the whole social injustice or plight against black people or police brutality. But guess what? That's not their job. So hopefully they brought up enough awareness. And the Wash King's a champion again.
Wash King's champion. All right, Sammy. Knowing what we know, and let's say there's been no other moves made. Kyrie comes back with the Nets next year. Who you got in the Eastern and the Western Conference Finals if you had to pick right now, with everybody healthy, but we don't know who's getting dealt where?
Everybody healthy, Eastern Conference Finals, I have the Heat versus the Nets.
Right. No Boston?
I think, if I'm being honest, and you say everybody healthy, I don't think we see the same Miami Heat team next year. I don't think they run it back identically. I
Yeah.
think they realize that they're in a moment right now, and they can capitalize on some things. Boston's they are what they are, so they could come back better, but they couldn't even beat that team assembled as is. So that's me banking on Miami not coming back identically. But yeah, Bob, Heat over Boston because they just beat them. Milwaukee's done, and yeah, Brooklyn should be one of the top 3 teams in the league. So yeah, Brooklyn, Miami, West Coast. I'm going Golden State, and I'm going.
Say it. I know you want to say it. Just say it.
Yeah, man, I can't disrespect that. Yeah, I would go Lakers. I would go Lakers
Oh,
right now.
really?
Today I would go Lakers, Golden State.
I thought you were gonna say Denver, because they got a young
Denver-
team too.
Denver's in the same situation as Boston.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to really make too many moves, but they have a nucleus that if it gets a lot better, they can go further. But we'll have to see about that.
Yeah, I think Lake Show, if they go again, they have to pick someone else up. Because, I mean, LeBron, he needs that 3-tier system. He needs, if he fails, someone else. If that guy fails, someone else. Because it showed when it was, if he stunk, AD stunk. They didn't really have a third guy who could, step in and get him, like at least 20 points. So, I don't know. Antetokounmpo, come to the Lake Show. I don't know. I don't think they need another big man now.
Yeah, I don't know if the Greek Freak goes against LeBron when they've been battling for MVPs all these years. I don't know. If I've learned one thing, if guys like Duncan Robinson and Kelly Olynyk matter, then and Rajon Rondo, then we got to mention that the Lakers just won the championship without their starting shooting guard and Avery Bradley. So they will get something back, and I think he'll be the most motivated player in the NBA because he literally just watched his team win without him. But to your point, I don't know if Avery Bradley is that piece that's going to put them favored to repeat next year with everything coming back. But you got to watch out for the Lakers now. Obviously, they have tricks up their sleeve. They were literally trying to get Anthony Davis for 3 years, and they made it happen. So we'll see what they do to run things back. But normally when teams win, they get a little stingy as far as free agency, and they look to kind of pay their own. But they do got Avery coming back.
Who's the hottest? We'll finish on this. Who's the hottest free agent right now?
I believe I was informed it was DeMar DeRozan's coming up to be a free agent. I feel like he could be a nice piece if he lands in the right spot. I don't see him going back to San Antonio, but I think he's in a pretty lackluster free agency because I think Giannis isn't up till next year. I think DeMar DeRozan is a piece that could be moved that could instantly tilt some favor.
All right. Well, I pulled up this website. I don't know how true it is or not. But this is the top 25 free agents of 2020. Anthony Davis. He's got a player option. There's no way he's gonna leave the Lake Show.
He was done.
Brandon.
That was done once they won.
Brandon Ingram from New Orleans. Fred VanVleet, Raptors. DeMar DeRozan. Player option. Montrezl Harrell. Bogdan Bogdanovic. I don't even know who that guy is.
I have to stop you. I have to stop you right here, just because I had this moment where this question came to mind. I have to ask: do you think Brandon Ingram has the balls, or do the Lakers have the nuts to re-sign him?
Well, he's on the Clippers. Or who's the question? Who's the person?
Brandon Ingram. The Brandon Ingram was in New Orleans. They
Right.
traded him away from the Lakers with Lonzo Ball
Ooh.
to get Anthony Davis. So now you're a free agent.
Of course.
Coming off an All-Star season.
I don't know, man. I think
If you're him and they want you back, do you go back knowing that they originally didn't want you, or they just want Anthony Davis more?
You know what? There's two ways you can think of it. You can think of it as vindictive, or you think of it as business. It was a business deal. How pissed can I really? How much is your pride worth? How much are you willing to swallow in order to win it all? That's actually, I saw that in a bathroom one night. It was a bumper sticker. No, I'm just kidding.
With that being said, though, the more I say it out loud, this is going to be his first big contract, so he's probably not going to go to that good of a team because they're not going to have the money. First time you get paid, you want all the money. So I'm thinking about that out loud. I don't know how much what the Lakers cap looking like, but yeah, I don't see that happening. But what if you go? No, you can't go to the Clippers. That would be interesting.
All
Denver.
right. Well. So I mentioned earlier I could have watched the Lake Show. I could have had a glass of Chardonnay. I could have done it all, but instead, I decided to watch the Minnesota Vikings play the Seattle Seahawks, and I was seduced by this game. I was seduced because we were playing so well early. Dalvin Cook got hurt, and then we decided to not kick a field goal and be up by 8 and be guaranteed to at least overtime. The analytics said go for it. Madison's been playing good, and we went for it. We didn't get it. And then, of course, Russell Wilson drives down the field. This is 4th down, and it's 4th and goal, Sammy. Okay? We're going to play it one more time for all the kids at home. Ooh, if I can find it, that is. Here we go.
All right, Vikings, rip my heart out. Just do it already. Rip my heart out. I know you're going to.
Unbelievable. The Vikings have had so many late game losses this season. It's just a joke at this point. Zimmer's got to go at first. Last week I was like, no, Zimmer's got to stay. Zimmer's got to go. He hired his punk-ass kid to co-run. He's a co-defensive coordinator. Dude, pick one person. You don't want your son and some other guy trying to control the defense. That's going to be super awkward. And obviously it shows because our defense stinks. We can't even blame it on Kirk Cousins anymore. That's how bad it is. Vikes are 1-4. Apparently we've signed Cousins and Zimmer to an extension. Fuck that. Cut ties. Tank for Trevor. We have all the other pieces. The season's over, Sammy. It's over.
You can't tank for Trevor.
Tank for Trevor. We're done. We're done.
Listen, you can't say it's unbelievable when you said that it was going to happen before it happened.
I just don't know where to go from this point. Like, because it's going to be very hard. Because Green Bay is really good this season. Aaron Rodgers is playing like a bat out of hell. Chicago's winning somehow. The Saints, where everybody thought was going to be a good team, isn't as good. Detroit's a coin flip with us. It just doesn't.
You can look at it from two different ways. You can look at it from we lost another game at the end, or we played tough against one of the better teams in the league, and in the Seahawks, and you put up numbers against an average Seahawks defense. So, I mean, Mike Zimmer's seat is definitely heating up, but he's not Dan Quinn. He's not the guy who should have been fired weeks ago. 1-4 is not the start you guys were anticipating, especially with all that money that Kirk Cousins is making. But yeah, the gripe is on the other side of the ball. Like you say, you can't really blame Kirk Cousins for allowing Russell Wilson to go up and down the field, or you're really any quarterback for that matter. Right. But I don't think the panic button should be pressed on Zimmer, because what was life pre-Zimmer? What was it? It wasn't good.
We had Mike Tice. I remember dressed up as like a player one time. That was like.
But it is alarming that the defense is leaking, and that's supposed to be his calling card. So I'll give you that. I don't like that.
What about the 4th down? Would you have gone for it, or would you have kicked the field goal, or would you have done a different play? Or?
If I'm being honest, the Baltimore Ravens kind of started a trend with Lamar Jackson as far as anything within 4th and 5, and you're on your side of the 50 or close is green light. So that's kind of the trend these days. Like, if you're an offense that's not going for it 4th and 5, 4th and 4 and closer, I feel like in the league it's being looked upon as weak now. Like, I feel like we really started a trend. And to be quite honest, it's one of those things that analytics do favor. Like, I mean, you could have taken those points and allowed Russell Wilson to come down and possibly tie the game and giving yourself more time to win. Or you can take your big-ass offensive lineman, your big-ass fullback, and take your big-ass running back, top 3 running back in the league, even though it was the backup actually, but take your running back in there and go get a half a yard to end the game. So I think that's revisionist. If they get like he said, if they get the 1st down, it's a wrap. Since they didn't get it and couldn't play defense, that's what it folded down to. So I don't judge them on that.
I'm judging. I got a gavel right here.
But you wouldn't have been judging them if they got it.
Oh,
but I
of
guess
course.
the answer to that is that you didn't.
Yeah, I mean everything's a genius move unless it doesn't work. I'll tell you what, Raiders beat the Chiefs, Sammy, 40-32. Derek Carr put on some extra eyeliner. He had over 300 yards, 3 TDs. I mean, Chiefs weren't going undefeated. Let's be honest, but I think it's a good win. You got to root for the Raiders. They're 3-2. Did you watch any of that? What was your takeaway?
Yeah, I definitely checked that game out. You said you think it's a good win for the Raiders, and it might be the best win of the season for any team.
Right.
They were the underdog. They did what our defense wasn't able to do, and that's contain Patrick Mahomes, was supposedly a lesser defense. But really, shout out to all the Henry Ruggs owners who played him that week, because he finally decided to show up fucking 5 games into the season. And Derek Carr is looking like a quarterback when he has some weapons. So I got a little crow to eat on that. I didn't really think he was that good. The jury's still out for me. But with the healthy Ruggs and a Waller and a Josh Jacobs, you see what he's capable of. So we'll see if that trend continues. But yeah, now it's one of the better wins of the season.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I mean, because they were really kicking their ass, and then Kansas City kind of came back near the end. But Raiders are showing some fight. Here's another. The Steelers are 4-0 for the first time in like 50 years. Claypool, Notre Dame, had like 4 touchdowns in one game. So he's probably like a fantasy, boom or bust guy. He's either on your bench or started him by mistake. How real are the Pittsburgh Steelers?
If I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, I did not like how my defense looked yesterday, and I don't understand or know who's in charge of scouting receivers for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I literally hope that man makes as much money as any scout could possibly make, because they've hit for like the past 10 years on at least one solid starting number 1 receiver. And that's just amazing, especially coming from a team that, we have trouble drafting receivers. But we're really going to see how good Juju Smith-Schuster is now, because I think the double teams are going to be shifted, obviously, a little more to the rookie side, because he's kind of having that DK Metcalf type of impact. But it's going to be hard to do so when you got a guy like Juju on that other side. So with the Antonio Brown connection, he was able to shine, not so much when he was the only guy out there. So I think that was a big day for Juju, but obviously for Chase as well. But I don't know. You could call it being a Ravens fan, but I think the Steelers are a little bit inflated. But we'll see what happens when they run into some real teams.
They're a paper champion.
But yeah, shout out to the Rook. Everybody looks good when they're 4-0, but we'll see when they actually play somebody.
Real fans stick with their team at 1-4.
Just say get rid of the coach and the quarterback.
So the Cowboys won, but they lost because Dak Prescott is now out after he. I know we're talking about like gruesome leg injuries. That was one of them. Apparently, the bone went through his skin. I didn't see that. It looked painful. Sucked. Why do they got to show guys getting carted off? Because that's like your worst moment. He was like crying, and I'm not saying it's bad, or anything like that. But they, come on. And then there's a picture of Dak like smiling in the hospital. I don't know. If you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, I mean, your emotions of this season have gone up, down, left, right. You almost lost to a team that hasn't won a game. Danny Dimes. What do you do if you're a Cowboys fan? I mean, do you invest into Andy Dalton? Do you try to pick someone else up? What's the plan? You're the GM.
Okay, so the two sides of this is the fan and Dak Prescott and the Cowboys organization. So I'll go sad first. If you're a fan of the Dallas Cowboys or you're Dak Prescott, you lost. Your team was ass before you got hurt. You weren't going to be good or win anything this year. And now that's going to be even worse. It's going to be hard to watch your team each week. If you're a Dak, exactly what you thought could happen as far as worst case scenario happened. and now you got to bounce back. But I do believe that he will do so, even if it's not in the Cowboys uniform. The Cowboys organization, you won. You bet on yourself and you won. And I'm hearing that coming out of the pundits' mouths today, and it makes me queasy even saying it, because if you look at how they treat players like Darrelle Revis or guys who get money out of their contracts from these teams, they get looked at like bad guys or troublemakers in a sense, because they have negotiating skills, while the Cowboys look good for not paying their franchise quarterback, who's done nothing but want to be their franchise quarterback since they drafted him. They look good for not rewarding that type of guy. So if you're the Cowboys, you, just like I was saying on the fan side, you knew you weren't going to be any good. You watch them practice, you see your record. So this is a reset. You really get to see what you have out there on the field with no expectations. Nobody thinks that Andy Dalton's going to come in here and lead you guys to the playoffs, let alone a Super Bowl run. So you're playing with house money at this point, and you really get to evaluate your talent while getting to ring in the money. And you don't have to pay a guy who's hurt now more money than you thought that he was worth. So unfortunately, the house won in this situation, and it's going to be I think it's going to be a tough run with the Cowboys. I'm hearing a lot of people say Andy Dalton's good. That's great. I'm not one of those people. Remember me saying Andy Dalton's not good, so that when he's not good and everybody starts saying it again, you can play this fucking tape.
Yeah. What's his face wasn't good. Oh man, I'm gonna pull it up right now for the Colts. We'll talk about Philip Rivers. I mean, come on. It's all this coming from a mile away.
Old man Rivers.
Old man Rivers doesn't know what he's doing. Speaking of another team that doesn't know what they're doing, the 49ers get their ass kicked by the Dolphins. Sammy, quickly. I mean, it seems like an everything must go sale. I mean, are they just quitting? It seems like it.
Yeah, it looks like they rushed Jimmy G back because they felt their season in danger, and he just wasn't ready because he didn't play well. Nope. They were supposedly the better team with the talent, and you let Ryan Fitzpatrick look like Fitzmagic out there. And if you're Tua, you're wondering what the fuck did you do during the offseason, or what kind of voodoo did you fuck with to stunt your growth? You got Justin Herbert out here on Monday night lighting shit up. You know, you got Justin Burrow out there, everybody calling him the man in Cincinnati, and you can't get in front of fucking Ryan Fitzpatrick. And now he goes up there against a supposedly vaunted 49ers defense and lights them up. So it's probably going to be a couple more games before a veteran, well, not a veteran coach, but I feel like a guy in Flores who likes his seasoned veteran type of players, before they just throw a rookie into the mix when they're beating the 49ers without you. So tough day for Tua, but good win for the Dolphins.
And all right, we'll finish with the Ravens-Bengals, 27-3. I mean, there was no surprises in this game, was there, Sammy?
Yeah, we did what championship contenders do. We beat the dog shit out of bad teams. I enjoyed this win even more after the Chiefs lost because I feel like it was a bounce back. You know, I feel like this, at least in our own mind, supplanted us as one of the best teams in the league after just being dominated on Monday Night Football. So even though that was a couple losses ago, I do feel like that was one of the worst losses this season. So to get a win like this for our defense to come out there and make a statement against a rookie quarterback and a team that people were really trying their damnedest to be high on, for us to come out there and really make that statement felt good. But not really much to say other than the Bengals are not good and we are.
Is it okay for me to have a backup?
And we being the Ravens, you know, I did a lot of we just, and I don't get any money from Baltimore, but yeah, the Ravens.
I want a backup NFC team, Sammy. Can I pick one since my team's 1-4?
You can have a Rudy, but you can't have a backup team. I'm definitely team no two teams. So I don't want two.
What do you mean?
Favorite
the
teams. I don't want two favorite players.
If it's,
make a fucking decision.
Well, what if it's in the AFC? Can I pick an AFC team to win it all?
Okay, yeah, the AFC team, that makes a little more sense because you can get a Super Bowl matchup. I
can respect I'm gonna pick? I already know.
You have a Rudy.
Guess who my AFC Rudy's gonna be? Steelers. Just to piss you off. Sammy.
Wow.
Just to piss you off.
Is that wow?
So we're gonna have the Rudy Bowl whenever the Steelers played the, I don't know. I'm sure the Steelers play the.
If you want to be on the
Super
losing
Atlanta.
side of things, that's fine. But I don't really understand.
They play the
Steelers fans,
Ravens
but, hey,
November 1st. Rudy Bowl.
it's going down at that moment there.
Rudy Bowl. But I don't know.
Now don't back up off them now. When they start falling off and they're no longer 4-0, these are your guys now. If you're gonna lock
they're gonna be
in.
5-0, then they're gonna be 6-0, then they're gonna be 7-0. So I won't
Big
have
Ben
to
bounce
fall
it back. Okay.
Sam, you miss anything?
Did we miss anything? I don't like how many people showed up to all these Florida sporting events. So I'm not going to be that guy that talks about social distancing and the coronavirus every episode, but I do live in Florida, and I hope some people in Florida are watching this. All y'all chill the fuck out, man. Like, enjoy your sports, just not around people. It's cool if you don't see it live. It'll still happen. The way life works, you can find out what's going on almost anywhere in the world at any moment. So just, bunker down and let's get through this shit. Stop wilding.
Call the show.
Oh, yeah, Joe Flacco's ass, still.
Oh, he is ass.
Yeah.
I hope you know what? I just have this premonition that the Vikes are going to trade Kirk Cousins like the Jets. We're going to get like something out of the deal. I don't know. Like this is my dream, I guess. But call the show 470-391-4034. Call it any time. You can leave a voice.
Oh, Justin Herbert, 20. Drew Brees, 20. Who you got?
2020. I'll take the Chargers.
Oh, you on the Herb show? You can't have a bunch of
I'm on
Rudies.
that
Don't try to make Justin Herbert your
train,
Rudy.
dog. What? Nah.
Don't try.
New Orleans is done. They're done. They're done. They're done.
They're done? You're calling it?
I'm calling it done.
Man.
Follow our social media page now, the Sports Savage Show. It's on Instagram. We're gonna have more stuff on there. And subscribe to the show, like the show, comment on the show, tell your friends about the show. It's all about the show, folks, because we're gonna keep it going, whether you like it or not.
So you might as well just interact. We're gonna be here. Just do it.
Yeah, so we'll see you Thursday probably. Check our stuff for updates, and then you'll know. Then you can be on the in and the out. But call the show. We'll talk to you Thursday.
Peace. Not a crook.